Hey there, humans, and welcome to another edition of News for Human Use, your oasis of truth in the desert of deceit that dominates the digital world. I'm Gene Pocket. I'm an author, a public speaker, and the only candidate running for president of the United States of America in the year 2020 who isn't under the spell of so-called data. I don't need an algorithm to tell me what my fellow humans think and feel and hope for. My intuition isn't propped up by the irrelevant quantifiers that my competitors for the presidency use to divide us up so they can conquer. I'm not running for president because I want to prove that I'm the best. I'm running for president because I know that each and every one of you watching right now is unique and beautiful. You're a human being full of life, brimming with unique abilities and idiosyncrasies that make you one of a kind and irreplaceable. My opponents don't see you that way. They see you as nothing more than another point in a data set, a quantifiable statistic that they can use to predict voter trends and triangulate their way to victory. Their reliance on data makes it easier for them to dehumanize human beings. It makes it easier for them to replace every last one of us with bots, machines, and artificial intelligences. Data is what algorithms and artificial intelligences feed on. Now, probably the most well-known use of data in politics was the Cambridge Analytica scandal. It first came to light in 2015 when The Guardian reported that Cambridge Analytica, which is a data mining company, was illegally harvesting data from millions of Facebook users without their consent. Using an app called This Is Your Digital Life, Cambridge Analytica obtained a user's consent to access their personal information, photos, data, whatnot. Because of the Facebook's design, Cambridge Analytica was able to obtain not only the consenting user's data, but also the data of those in the user's social circle as well. Then Cambridge Analytica sold this data to the political campaigns of Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and the Brexit Party. These campaigns then used the data to manipulate public opinion. Now, the Facebook's founder, Mark Zuckerberg, feigned shock and disbelief when the story was made public, but it was hardly surprising to anyone who's been keeping close tabs on the political world.
The new Obama 2012 smartphone app has everything you need to get the president's back wherever you go. You can see what the most important news of the day is and keep your friends and family in the loop on Facebook, Twitter, and via email and text message.
In 2012, Obama's campaign team launched an app called Dashboard. According to the computing magazine Wired, quote, the app asked Facebook followers if it could access your friend's data. That data was used for funding requests and ads, but also to help identify which of supporters' friends were dithering on the election, so they could be targeted by their own Facebook friends, end quote. Now, while it's not exactly the same as Cambridge Analytica because Obama's app asked permission before using data to manipulate voters and their social circles, it set a sinister precedent for politicians using data. Despite having exploited big data for his electoral victories, Obama had this to say.
If we're going to be connected, then we need to be protected. As Americans, we shouldn't have to forfeit our basic privacy when we go online to do our business.
Give me a break. It's like hearing Bill Clinton condemn sexual harassment. I agree with the message, but this is not the messenger we need. You don't get a horse to lead the charge against public defecation. Now, rather than getting away from reliance on data, in 2016, the Datacrats doubled down. According to the Washington Post, quote, Hillary Clinton's campaign relied heavily on an algorithm named ADA. A raft of polling numbers, public and private, were fed into the algorithm, as well as ground-level voter data meticulously collected by the campaign. Once early voting began, those numbers were factored in, too. The algorithm was said to play a role in virtually every strategic decision Clinton aides made, including where and when to deploy the candidate and her battalion of surrogates, and where to air television ads, as well as when it was safe to stay dark. The campaign's deployment of other resources, including county-level campaign offices and the staging of high-profile concerts with stars like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, was largely dependent on ADA's work as well, end quote. So while Robot Don was exploiting data gathered through nefarious means by Cambridge Analytica, Hillary Clinton was letting an algorithm run her campaign, relying almost exclusively on data. The 2016 election may as well have been an episode of BattleBots. So you're probably saying, Gene, I'm sure after the Cambridge Analytica scandal and the failure of Hillary Clinton's inept algorithm and the general sentiment about privacy, I'm sure that no one would put their faith in so-called data this time around. Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you, human friend, but it's worse than you think. On April 2nd, 2019, the Datacrats National Committee announced their rollout of what they're calling the Data Warehouse. They spent $5 million on it. It basically warehouses all the data collected about voters from every candidate up and down ballot and makes that data available to participate in Datacratic campaigns. So let's say you're a Datacratic voter who for some reason is pulling for Pete Buttigieg. So you donate money to Pete Buttigieg and by doing so share your personal information. If Pete Buttigieg wants data on other Datacratic voters, he has to share your data he's gathered with the Datacratic National Committee's Data Warehouse, meaning Gropey Joe, Bernie Sanders, Judas Yang, and whoever else has access to your personal data. The Data Warehouse is also powered by Google's cloud computing services, which means that Google also has access to the data collected by all these campaigns. But it's not like Google could be hacked, right? Heading up this new data warehouse is former presidential candidate and pharmaceutical lobbyist Howard Dean, who had this to say.
Going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House? Yeah!
What could go wrong, right? Next week on June 26th and 27th, the Datacrats are holding their first debates. Now, I want you to keep in mind as you watch these debates that these folks don't see you as human beings. They see you as potential voters that they can add to their data set. They don't see you as Tom, Dick, and Harry or Jane, June, and Mary. They see you as the sum of your data and nothing more. Gene Pocket and the Human Party sees you as a human being, idiosyncratic, beautiful in your unpredictability and your ability to surprise. The Human Party isn't storing huge swaths of information about you or your family or your friends. The Human Party doesn't need to swindle voters with data-driven tactics of manipulation. Because the only data we know, the only data worth caring about are these three simple and beautiful words. We the people. We the people. Not we the data set or we the Datacrats or we the potential voters. We the people. Now, if you are going to watch the Datacratic debate, I will be live tweeting, so be sure to find me on Twitter at VeggieLasagna96. And you know I'm going to be here every Thursday bringing you news and updates that's fit for human use. Tell the people you care about this video. Let them know that they're more than the labels used by Datacrats to divide us up. Don't just share the link. Tell them face to face. Look into their eyes and tell them the truth. And be sure to visit www.genepocket.org. That's GENEpocket.org. We're going to find all kinds of information about my campaign, the Human Party, how you can volunteer, and most importantly, the link to our donation page. Donate today if you agree that we need to keep America human. Hit subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. I'm Gene Pocket, and until next week, I wish good things for you, good things for the United States of America, and all the best to the human race. Thanks, and have a great week.
We're not gonna let them take our jobs. We're not gonna be replaced. We won't live in a world that's run by bots. We won't let them take our place. We won't let machines take our rights. We'll stand together, we will fight. We're not gonna let them program our kids. We won't let bots control our news. We won't let machines divide with politics. We're not just data points to be used. We're human beings with living souls. We won't let the robots gain control. Together we'll keep America human. We're the Human Party. Together we'll keep America human. We're the Human Party. We're the Human Party.
Oh!